Good Friday morning on this July 4th, on this Independence Day. We welcome you, our all streaming. We started this a few weeks ago. We know a lot of folks are off today. Maybe you slept in a little bit, getting your day started. So I'll bring you up to date on the July 4th forecast. Very tranquil forecast here, not only on the 4th, but for the next few days, even though it's going to be hot. So we'll get things started. I'll be able to go see your comments on Facebook. If you're traveling, we had a request yesterday, folks traveling to Louisville or Charleston, South Carolina. So we'll start with our regional connections. A few storms up Milwaukee. I'll check O'Hare in a moment. They do have a little line of storms working through there. They seem to be sub-severe, but all green across the jet, so no weather delays there. Atlanta had some storms early in the week. In fact, the severe weather yesterday, of all places, and we get about 5-6 inches of precipitation a year. We're out in Vegas. Charlotte's at 84. Dallas-Fort Worth, some clouds, but most of the showers are to the west. They're at 78. And Buffalo is at 70 at this hour. So we're going to hide the ball from you today because a lot of folks are out and about. Here is the Independence Day forecast for July 4th. 85 as we go to the 9 o'clock hour. It's going to be hotter today, lower 90s. Now we do have a wind shift, so we'll have some slightly higher humidity. Winds will be out of the southeast, and then at fireworks time, we keep adjusting temps. Boy, a few days ago I had that down to about 78, but we have pushed it up to 83. So it's going to be warm out there, pretty typical weather, but generally no threats, major threats for precipitation. Maybe a passing shower is possible as we go to the afternoon. That will be about it. And then we'll run down the heat index, pretty typical for this time of year, not in the advisory range that we had 1 week ago. We had those heat indices up as high as 110. In fact, things have bumped down just a bit. So kind of pretty much matching the temps with those dew points generally into the upper 60s to near 70, which is about average for this time of the year. As we mentioned, pretty typical July 4th. Good morning to you, Lacey. Appreciate you tuning in. So that's a look there at the heat index forecast. And let's take the fireworks forecast as we go through this evening. We'll pick it up here at 8 p.m. And the forecast looks dry. 86 there at the 8 o'clock hour. At 9 o'clock at 83. These temperatures are up a little bit from what we were running earlier this morning. Winds will be out of the southeast. And keep in mind some traffic heading home there at 10 o'clock. Fireworks at Evansville, Owensboro as well. And then it looks pretty good tomorrow night in Newburgh. And they had great crowds last night at Yellow Creek Park and Owensboro on through Henderson and up through Fairfield. So that's a look there at the fireworks. We'll talk about a couple years ago. We had some showers around. A lot of times we'll have that 20 to 30% chance of showers and storms, but not this year. Air quality, we talked about that earlier in the week back on Monday, that our air quality, we could see some alerts. While they do have them now, they're north of the area. It covers Indianapolis, Terre Haute to about Bloomington, up to Kokomo, and then the Chicago area, although I think Chicago might come in a little better than expected. They're cleansing the atmosphere there with some showers right now, then along the west coast there of Lake Michigan, St. Joe, Benton Harbor up to Muskegon, and then into Detroit. This is kind of, well, I was going to say, yeah, they would like some cool weather, but now often you have heat advisories in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and this is generally the only heat advisories across a good chunk of the U.S. Covers Minneapolis, St. Paul, to about, you get into Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Fargo, North Dakota, Minneapolis, good chunks there of Minnesota. That's the best setup for a few thunderstorms, by the way. Big dome of high pressure is set up, so they're underneath that. So that's a lot of where the heat has set up. Some interesting facts concerning July 4th. Of course, when they adopted the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia, Thomas Jefferson recorded cloudy skies in 76 on the 4th. 2012, we had a record high 103, and that was a sweltering summer. In 2009, one of our coolest Julys on the books. Now, on the 4th that year, we had about 7/10 in the rain gauge during the morning hours, but the fireworks were okay. For the most part, it was dry. And then in 2016, we had 2.28. Going back to 2009, we only had 2 days greater than 90 degrees, only 2. And the hottest day of the month was a 91 back in 2009. In fact, we had some high temps only in the 70s and 80s, but 2009, our coolest one on the books, in the lower 70s. We'll take a look at these severe weather threats. We talked about very kind of a pick July 4th, not only here, but a good chunk there of the U.S. Now, it would break up those heat advisories, a few storms there through northern Minnesota, the highest risk from about Fargo up to Duluth, and that's Fargo, North Dakota. So we're not at risk for any severe weather if you're doing any traveling. And then on Saturday, the setup is generally up from Wisconsin back through about Kansas City. And then as you work down through sections there of Kansas, so to the north and west along the front. Higher threats there in Montana, but this is the time of year in July where those severe weather threats will hover along the U.S.-Canadian border. And then on Sunday, we could be added to a level 1 threat Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. But right now it sets up Scottsbluff, Nebraska, down through areas there east of Denver. And I'll show you my thinking behind Sunday in a moment. We're run down looking at good out there at Ellis Park. We're at 81 here in Evansville, 78 in Madisonville. We had a little fog out here early this morning. So that's a look at our temperatures. Oh, you can see they're practicing right now. And this is one of our highest dew points here of the week. It's 72, not the mid to upper 70s, but we talked about the past few days. We had dew points kind of range bound between about 65 and 68. So however you slice it, it is sultry out there. All right, let's do a little nowcasting here on Doppler radar. Wide view. Showers, nothing there in Atlanta, Dallas, down through Houston, complex of storms there. And there's a little disturbance off the coast there of Florida out into the Atlantic that could mature into a tropical depression next week. There's those showers we're tracking there north and west there of O'Hare, some rain. South of Milwaukee, get up towards Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, and Racine, some showers. And then south there of Cadillac, Michigan, and Traverse City. And then east there of Sleeping Bear, a little storm there in Michigan. And some showers and storms as we work back through the Dallas, back into Texas. No problems there at the gate concerning weather. So as we go hour by hour, I'm just going to show you a little of the latest computer guidance here using the in-house model. Winds generally going to be out of the southeast as we go through our July 4th. And then that will be the pattern for tomorrow. In fact, the ridge of high pressure is right over. So it's sliding to the east, just to the east, bringing winds out of the southeast. So the winds will be relatively calm. Early in the week, I was scheduling a breezy Saturday, and generally the winds will be fairly light. Generally out of the south, maybe at 4 to 8. Sunday, some weather changes. If we get some outflow boundaries going, I've increased our probability for rain on Sunday up to a 30% chance. Of course, now keep in mind the Gibson County Fair opens. It might increase our coverage here. So I'm looking at the latest guidance. Might go up to a 40% chance of showers. Generally, the severe weather threats, I think, would stay out to our south and west. It does show a weakening trend. So right now, we're not at risk for any severe weather as we go through Sunday. But generally, that's going to potentially change as we go into next week. So we're going to bring the 7-day full. I'll look at some of the comments. Now, an unsettled pattern, I'm pretty much the next 2 weeks here in July, I don't think we're going to see any major heat waves overall. But on Monday, that 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms will generally unfold during the afternoon and evening. And so we could have a level 1, level 2 threat on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday during that time frame. Sergeant, happy 4th of July to you. Lacey, good morning to you as well. And Laura, watching from Dawson Springs down there. Dawson Springs, you guys are looking at a high of about 95 there in southern stretches of Hopkins County. So I do appreciate those comments. And Mitch is going to be along in a moment. Have a safe and happy 4th of July and Independence Day. We'll talk to you soon.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us for the news portion of our CTV stream show at 8:30. I'm Mitch Carter. Of course, happy Friday, July 4th here. I'm a solo show today here, so be nice to me. I'm doing my very best. We're going to get right into it here. Of course, what you guys all want to hear about, all the fireworks out there. So getting right into it here. Let me pull some video up for you all here. Talking about the stuff here in Evansville. We're going to take this video here. Of course, plenty of fireworks going off across the tri-state tonight, but the biggest events will be happening in both Evansville and Owensboro. Fireworks on the Ohio begin in Evansville at 6 o'clock with food trucks and activities along Riverside Drive from Court Street all the way to the Sinkhole. Fireworks set to launch at 9:15 off the Ohio. Meanwhile, here a heads up, Riverside Drive closed this morning at 7 o'clock, so crews can set up. So if you're taking that detour due to the sinkhole, if you're on the way into Evansville right now, you won't be able to get back on until Court Street. Then in Owensboro, you'll be able to see fireworks from 4 different locations. That includes Riverfront, Southern Little League Fields, the Owensboro Sports Center, and Owensboro Warehouse Leasing. All those also set to launch at 9:15. Activities on the Riverfront will start this evening at 5 o'clock. Now, also happening tonight here, let me get that graphic off the screen so you can see. It's Red, White, and Boom night for the Du Bois County Bombers, taking on the Terre Haute Rex. The first pitch was set for at 6:30 Eastern Time. Fireworks show directly after the game. I've been there before. You actually get to sit on the outfield and watch the fireworks. Very, very cool. You can buy tickets right now on the Bombers website. And then tomorrow, Fireworks Over the Berg will launch from downtown Newburgh. Tons of events there as well, starting at noon and continuing until the fireworks launch at 9 o'clock Central Time. And also happening tonight, our new We the People series will be highlighting our local history, which has shaped not only our communities, but also the country as a whole. Of course, those around here know Evansville played a huge role in World War II, so we're kicking off the series with a 30-minute special on the LST. You can catch We the People celebrating the LST 325 tonight on WFIE at 6:30, or you can see it Saturday at noon. Of course, you can also watch the Macy's Fireworks Show in New York City at 7 tonight right here on WFIE. That's going to do it for us here, of course, looking at comments. Happy Independence Day, Lacey. I know you said Brian Good from Wave said hello. I'll make sure he knows that. For those joining us right now, I know it's 4th of July. Of course, it's going to be nice out there. Thankfully, very, very clear skies. Great for fireworks. So keep an eye on yourself out there. Stay hydrated, stay cool, do all that stuff. I know the Dora begins today in Evansville as well, downtown, where you can buy drinks if you're of age and kind of carry them around outside, which is kind of neat for the fireworks. Good morning, Lacey, Laura, other Lacey, Tyler. Thank you, one of our production guys, making fun of me saying the levels are low. Anyways, like I said, it's the 4th of July here. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. I know we've got 14 right now. Thank you, guys. I know it's a holiday right now. But overall, that'll do it for us here. Everybody, please enjoy the 4th. Stay safe out there. And enjoy your weekend as well. And we'll see you right back here Monday morning at 8:30. Take care.